Okay, these are my thoughts, my prediction for the Amir Khan versus Devon Alexander fight. The last time I did a prediction video for this, Devon Alexander versus Amir Khan, it was in July 2013. I was in the Caribbean. Much has changed. I'm not in the Caribbean anymore, well, not at the moment. And this fight is going ahead this weekend, as opposed to then. The fight never happened. And also, I believe the fight now is in the welterweight division as opposed to the light welterweight division. Both guys have moved up, so there's a difference there. Both guys believe that they're stronger as welterweights. Khan's last performance against Collazo after a lengthy time away from the ring was impressive. You could see more Virgil Hunter's influence on Amir Khan, sitting down his punches more. Was able to drop Collazo on numerous occasions in the fight. Blistering hand speed as always, good footwork, defensively looked cuter, so that was good to see. He still got shook up a few times in the fight, but did well. And when he did get hurt, he knew how to clinch, how to tuck up. Although when he tucked up, he kind of stood in the same place and tucked up like this, but he still tucked up. He was smart. Collazo is not a devastating puncher, although Victor Ortiz would want to tell us different. In Alexander's last fight, from what I remember, he fought Keith Thurman victim Jesus Soto's Carras. Thurman got the victory that night by stopping Carras, but getting rocked himself. Alexander was more accurate, had to go the long distance, and at times, including the 12th round, stood in front of Carras and had a shootout, which was interesting to see for Alexander, because Alexander has been seen in the past as quite a boring fighter, but technically very skilled. This is the guy that fought Maidana and completely outboxed Maidana, and Maidana is a big puncher. And bear in mind, you think what Maidana did to Floyd Mayweather and to Amir Khan, it looks good on Alexander's resume. He also went in the ring with the machine, Lucas Matisse. A lot of people believe that Lucas Matisse won the fight and Alexander was lucky to get away with it. He probably would agree with that, but he certainly showed he had a great chin. See, if you go back and look at the highlights, before I go on into my prediction, Amir Khan, I was saying, he never looked great. He hasn't looked great since he's come back after the Danny Garcia fight. And again, he didn't look great in the Diaz fight, but he looked good against Collazo. Again, Amir Khan's always been exciting. As I said before, people say I'm a Khan hater, and I'll keep on saying I don't hate fighters. There's some fighters I like more than others, but I don't hate fighters. So stop with this hate stuff. Because I don't support the fighter that you particularly support, doesn't mean I'm a hater. Just doesn't mean I just don't like that person's style. Khan is very entertaining. He's very exciting. But his excitement is based on the fact of his vulnerability, which is around the chin. That hasn't changed, and I don't believe that changes at welterweight. Yes, he's stronger, but then everyone at welterweight is stronger too. I'm still not sure about Khan's punch resistance at welterweight. And really, I'm asking myself the question, how well has Amir Khan been looking after his body? I saw a photograph of him. He was out of shape. Obviously, he's got himself into tremendous shape now, but not really living life as an athlete as you would expect of him. Now he's married, and I don't know how much, again, I go back to the Garcia fight, how much that took out of Khan. I also go and ask all those walls he had in the gym with when he was in the gym with Freddie Roach, how much that took off of Amir Khan's career as a fighter. People say, oh well, those things don't really matter. I think they do matter. When you're going back into the high level top 10 and you fight against a top 10, Devon Alexander, he's been around a long time himself, but he's not been knocked out by anybody. He's not been destroyed by anybody. Yeah, he's been bullied and hustled out of fights by fighters, but never he's been, like destroyed, knocked out cold, and you know, sent reading around the ring. That doesn't happen to Devon Alexander. He's a good, strong fighter. He's got a good chin and very underrated as a fighter. What do I think this fight comes down to? There's an image, there's a thought process in my mind that thinks that Khan can hit and hurt Alexander enough and have enough speed to outpoint Alexander with blistering hand speed, and will go through to a points victory. That's what one side of my brain is telling me. But then it was inside the actual fight against Collazo, the southpaw, where you see where Amir Khan's knocking Collazo down and doing his best work. You'll see every time he goes to hit Collazo, his chin is in the air and he's still open for the straight left hand. He's still open. He's square on when throwing shots, and he's open for the straight left hand. And Alexander's got a sneaky way of taking punches on the gloves, tucking up, and then letting the left hand go. Now that left hand has knocked down guys like Urango, and I said this in my previous video, that Urango has a better chin than Amir Khan. Devon Alexander, I saw in the Karas fight, he was prepared to stand toe-to-toe Karas even in the 12th round, and Karas looked physically bigger than Alexander, and I don't think Amir Khan is that much bigger than Alexander. I think they're quite similar in stature and size and weight. So my question is this: if Alexander can get inside of Amir Khan, who's never had a good inside game, and able to bully and rough up and be strong enough to rough Khan up on the inside, we may have a different fight. If Khan can keep it at a distance, a long distance, peppering Alexander with the right hand, because obviously the right hand is the key for Khan in this fight. You see, but Alexander has good hand speed himself. It's a good fight. If there's going to be a points victory in this fight, I'm going to take Khan. If there's a knockout in this fight, I'm going to take Alexander. Now, if Khan's chin was solid, I mean, like, could proper take a shot and not be reading around the ring and doing chicken dances and stuff like that, if I knew he could take the shot and hold the shot, then I'd say Amir Khan wins this fight hands down, and I wouldn't think twice. I think he blitzed Alexander. But there's the problem right there, his chin. That's why I cannot say Amir Khan wins this fight convincingly, a 12-round points decision, because I don't know what Amir Khan's going to get in the ring. I don't know if Khan's going to get macho. I don't know if Khan's going to leave himself exposed and leave his chin exposed, and he leaves his chin in the air throwing these shots. I don't know if he's going to get caught. I don't know. And I think Alexander hits hard enough to hurt Khan. And Khan, his inside game is suspect. You saw it against Lamont Peterson. You say, oh, well, Alexander's not an inside fighter. I believe Alexander knows that Khan can be hurt. He can be put down. He can be knocked out. Alexander knows that. And Alexander knows this is his opportunity to get on the big stage. Khan's been on the big stage. He was once rated #1 in the world as light welterweight. Even if it was for a brief time, he was a #1 fighter. He was recognized as the #1 in the world. I don't think Alexander's been recognized as #1 in the world like that. And this is Alexander's opportunity to really shine. Alexander's been fighting elite fighters for a very long time. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on the fact that they think Alexander can't punch. Alexander's been fighting top-rated guys. He didn't build a record of fighting 30-0, fighting bums, and then fighting elite class. Alexander's been fighting elite class for a long time, and so that, in terms of his ratio and his knockout ratio, it's very deceiving. So I'm going to take Alexander as the puncher in this fight, and I'm going to say Alexander may have to come through a barrage of punches from Khan, but I believe from rounds 4 and 5, I've always said Khan starts fast. First 3 rounds, punches. Then rounds 4, 5, 6 is where the guys able to start timing Khan as he comes in. What Alexander's got to do is when Khan is punching, he's got to punch too. And he's got to punch. When Khan's come forward throwing those punches, he's got to throw the left hand in between Khan throwing his punches. That's the way. And getting inside and throwing those shots. And then when he gets inside, work Khan's body. You know, if Alexander can back Khan up and get him on the ropes and physically bully Khan, Alexander can win this fight and he can get caught for stoppage. However, if Khan can keep Alexander on the outside, not get caught and tagged and hurt, Khan wins the fight. As a Brit, I'd love to see Khan do the business against Alexander. I put himself in sweepstakes for Mayweather. But this isn't being patriotic here. I've got to go with a guy who I feel is more solid. I think he's got solid boxing skill. I think he's underrated as a fighter. I think he's got a better chin. I think he's got the better boxing ability simply because he sticks to a game plan. And it's not a case of, well, Alexander's got a poor inside game. You know, we saw what Khan did against Collazo. And at times I ask myself the question against Collazo, what the hell are you doing? You know, at times Collazo had his chin up in the air, hands down by the side. And that wasn't the Collazo I was expecting to see. He wasn't the cute fighter I was expecting to counter punch Collazo. I didn't see none of that. And Khan looked really good, really good. But Collazo looked really bad. That's taking nothing away from Khan now. He looked good. He did what he had to do. A lot of people said Collazo was going to be a dangerous fight. Khan did the business. But as everyone knows, Alexander's a step up. I'm going Alexander stoppage. The left hand being the key. Alexander being more flexible in his fighting style, able to fight on the inside, on the outside, move side to side. Khan has flashing hand speed, but speed is okay. But once he starts getting timed, Khan, I've never seen him be able to deal with somebody who can time him. And when he starts getting pushed against the ropes, I want to see what he does. What Virgil Hunter has added to his game, the ability to hold and hit on the insides and throw good body shots and uppercuts. So those punches, that tornado of punches that Khan's got is a very good set of arsenal of punches. Hand speed wise, probably the fastest hands in the boxing world today, I think. Possibly. They said Gary Russell Jr., but Gary Russell Jr. really hasn't fought anybody. And the one guy he fought, he got beat, Lomachenko, but Lomachenko's he's a freak of nature. So I would say Khan, in terms of putting punches together, with speed. But I don't think he's a better boxer than Alexander. I don't think he's a better boxer than Alexander. And I don't think he's as adaptable as Alexander. I don't think he's got a better chin than Alexander. I think he's got better hand speed than Alexander. Footwork is okay. Sticking to a game plan, I'm going to go with Alexander. Able to fight under pressure, I'm going to take it to Alexander. Heart. Well, here's the question. Here's the point. I think Khan has got a better heart than Alexander, because Alexander, when bullied, seems to fall apart in fights. When he's been put under serious pressure, he falls apart. So far in his career. However, against Karas, he stood in the pocket and fought with Karas. So has Alexander matured and learnt from those mistakes? So I'm not saying that Alexander's unbeatable here, because he's not. And you know, Khan at welterweight does look interesting. His punch power is going to be interesting as well at welterweight. So can he hurt Alexander? He may do. But yeah, with the flurries of punches that Khan does throw, there is also the possibility that if he catches Alexander and stuns Alexander, he can flow it and get Alexander out of there. That's always that possibility. There is always that possibility because he's so fast. Hit you one shot, bam, and he hits you with punches. He can hurt you. That is the one thing. Alexander, I'm not sure if Alexander's faced anybody as fast as Khan. But like I said, rounds 4, 5, 6 is where I see Alexander land that left hand over the top. Straight through, as Khan's up throwing those punches, the left hand over the top, boom. I think that's going to be a problem. So, anything from round 4, 5 onwards, I'm looking to see Alexander get the stoppage. Yeah, I am. Because I don't think, even in the Kladza fight, like I said, that left hand over the top, Khan was always open to it. If you go back and look, check the highlights yourself, you'll see his chin's up in the air, open to those. While he was still landing them great shots, his chin was up in the air. So, and they'll be training for that, I believe. So yeah, a long-winded prediction, but I'm going Alexander stoppage. I hope that Khan makes those adjustments, doesn't have his chin up in the air, doesn't try and get macho. If he does get hit and hurt, he ties up, and it's a good fight, and he can get away, prove me wrong, and get the points victory. If he can do that, then you know, all the question marks about his chin, forget it. Won't be talking about that anymore. If he could stop Alexander, that would be very impressive. You can't say anything about that because Alexander hasn't really been stopped before, so that'd be a performance. But no, I'm going to go with Alexander. I think this is Alexander's time. I think that Khan's already been to the mountain, so I don't believe he's as dedicated as he used to be. Although he may show you some things, I'm not sure he's as dedicated. I don't know. I could be wrong here, but we'll see. We'll see. This fight is the fight that we're going to find out what Amir Khan's got left, and whether at the elite level, which he's going back at now, the elite level, he can do it. Let me know what your thoughts are. As with every Amir Khan fight, I'll be holding on to the couch, hoping that Khan doesn't leave his chin in the air to get whacked off. Yeah, so those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. I'm out.